Chair
Thank you.
recognizes the gentleman from Texas for 5 minutes, Mr. Green.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I am honored to have this opportunity to ask questions. Let me lay a predicate. President Trump led 3/4 of the 69 press events during the first 13 weeks of the pandemic. First question, how important is it for the professionals to give professional advice at the inception of a pandemic when it's in its nascency? Dr. Watson, would you kindly respond?
Yes, sir. The professionals, the public health experts, the scientific experts need to be able to provide their expert judgment on the pandemic situation. And it's not always totally clear cut what the situation is, but they need to be able to weigh in with their experience and education and the related judgment. When they're prevented from doing that, or when political pressures are put on them to say something that contradicts that experience and that judgment, that's where we run into problems.
I think it's fair to say that, and I mean no disrespect, but that some of the advice that was given by the president, some of that advice proved to be harmful to some members of the public. I can recall persons taking certain chemicals to their bodies that were harmful to them. Is this the kind of thing that you can avoid if you allow the professionals to lead?
Yes, sir. Good risk communication will tell people what they can expect in terms of risk, what actions they should take to protect themselves, and answer the questions that they have, but won't lead them to do things that are more dangerous.
Now, on the other hand, juxtaposing the Biden administration to the previous administration, we have the Biden administration with a commitment to put shots in arms. And in fact, in my congressional district, the Biden administration is setting up a super site, 6,000 shots in arms per day, to have a total of 126,000 people vaccinated. This is coming from the federal government in concert with the state, the county government, and the city. This is a collaborative effort. Is this the kind of effort that you need in a pandemic so as to thwart the pandemic as quickly as possible?
My colleagues and I like to say that pandemics break systems. And so what we need is people to come together at all levels of government to address this unprecedented challenge. And yes, that's the type of coordination that we need. Thank you.
And finally, this, minority communities are especially vulnerable, multiplicity of reasons why. But it appears to me that we have to do more in terms of assuring minority communities that they will get the vaccine. But on the other hand, we also have to assure minority communities that this vaccine is going to be safe. There's good reasons for minority communities to have consternation about injecting vaccines into their arms, given the history that they've suffered in this country. What would you say to the minority community in my city that may be watching now because of certain circumstances that have occurred? What would you say to them to encourage them to please get these vaccinations?
I would say that I understand that there is a history of abuses that has made it difficult to trust both government and healthcare systems. But I would encourage individuals in your community to listen to their local leaders, to try and understand the facts about the vaccine in particular, and to judge for themselves how safe and effective it is. And I hope that will give them the information they need to make it a good decision.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.
Thank you very much. The gentleman yields back. Chair recognizes the gentleman from Florida, Mr. Jimenez.